Win in Florida, Romney takes the primary, but is it enough to end the two-man race for the GOP nomination?
Golf course confusion. Cedar Hills mayor and city manager are building a house, even though reports say the course is losing money.
And divorce education. A new Utah bill could force people to take a legal class before they end their marriage. I'm Kelsey Eager.
And I'm Kara Teo. It's Wednesday, February 1st, and in Utah, it's 12 o'clock.
From KBYU and the BYU Department of Communications. This is the award-winning 11 News at noon.
Mitt Romney is one significant step closer to his party's presidential nomination. His victory in Florida's primary last night wasn't even close. Romney's dominant 15% win over former House Speaker Newt Gingrich makes him the early frontrunners. Romney's campaign went on the offensive against Gingrich in speeches and television commercials. After Romney finished addressing his immediate competition, he took a minute to call out President Obama.
3 years ago this week, a newly elected President Obama faced the American people, and he said, look, if I can't turn this economy around in 3 years, I'll be looking at a one-term proposition, and we're here to collect.
But confidently predicted a successful future with 46 states to go. Next on the list, the Republican candidates head to Nevada. 5 Utah County smoke shops are closed today after police raided them searching for the illegal drug spice. The Utah County Major Crimes Task Force shut down smoke shops like this one, seizing bags of marijuana-like herbs from the stores, but not arresting anyone. Provo police started investigating local shops after a parent told police his daughter bought spice locally. The 5 business owners will have to appear before city officials before they can open their doors again.
Accusation against Susan Powell's parents and the West Valley Police Department are now online. Josh Powell's family launched a website accusing Susan's parents of abusing the Powell children. The site also accuses the police of overlooking other leads in Susan Powell's disappearance. The Powells launched a second website last night containing letters to the Utah governor and Senate. The charges are in for the couple accused in the death of 16-year-old Alexis Rasmussen. Authorities in Ogden have charged Eric and Dia Millerberg with child abuse, homicide, and desecration of a human body. Prosecutors say the 16-year-old girl was having a sexual relationship with Eric and that he was providing her with drugs. Authorities found her body in Morgan County last October.
Newly released dispatch tapes give us new details on the night an Ogden police officer died. The tapes reveal Matthew Stewart allegedly fired on officers as they tried to get their wounded brothers out of the house. Officer Jared Frankham died in the shootout, which occurred during a routine knock-and-announce search warrant last month. The Cedar Hills golf course has not been profitable up to this point, but city officials say they hope that a new clubhouse will change that. 11 News reporter Rosemary Card found out not everyone thinks this will be a hole-in-one.
If all goes as planned, this clubhouse will open this spring.
So to me, having a nice facility gives the Senior Association an anchor, and we really need to develop the Senior Association to develop golf, to promote this course and the community.
Not everyone agrees with making the clubhouse a priority. The city's November election newsletter said that the golf course was making a profit, a statement that city officials later confirmed was misleading.
They're told it's making money, it's profitable, and it is not.
In 2001, 56% of voters approved a $7 million bond to build the Cedar Hills golf course. City Manager Conrad Hildebrandt says the course achieved 3 of its 4 main goals. It provides recreational space, beautified open space, and reservoirs for the city.
And then the 4th one was to provide additional revenue to the city, and it hasn't done that yet.
I don't think we should have put the money into the clubhouse. They're moving as fast as they can so they can get it done before any complaints, or anything can stop it.
Sorensen has filed a complaint to the 4th.
The mayor and city manager of misuse of funds for the golf course.
Make a decision regarding the accusations and complaints later this week.
Hackers sent a message to Utah lawmakers and forced the temporary shutdown of the Salt Lake Police Department website. The activist group Anonymous says they did it to protest a bill that would make possession of graffiti tools a crime if the person plans to use the tools to deface property. The hackers targeted the police website because they say officers will be the enforcers of the law. New legislation may mean people who want a divorce have to take a marriage class first. And as 11 News reporter Adam McNevin tells us, the idea is controversial.
5,000 people that filed for divorce in Utah last year took a required education course to help them become familiar with the legal process. Under a new bill, they would have to take it before they could even file for divorce.
The divorce orientation education class focuses on informing participants of the known effects of divorce for children and adults and consideration of repairing the marriage and resources for doing so.
The bill will make the course free of charge and available online. The proponents say this will help teach marriage survival skills that might turn some away from divorce. But some representatives disagreed with making it a requirement.
What if we changed it? Instead of making it a mandate, why don't we create an incentive?
Although several congressmen were in favor of giving marriage a second chance, others believe that it was a violation of the agency of the people, a classic debate between love and the law.
The governments must recognize and respect the natural family in much the same way and for exactly the same reason that they must recognize and respect basic human rights.
Several lawmakers suggested that it may be better to invest in a marriage preparation course instead. They argued that doing so would more effectively prevent divorce than the courses already offered. At the Capitol, Adam McNevin, 11 News.
The bill is still in the House's Health and Human Services Committee, and there's no formal vote scheduled yet.
Still to come on 11 News at noon. Closing couture. University Mall is losing one more department store. How far you'll need to drive to get the latest fashions.
Lots of language. Your elementary school students could learn Spanish or French in class. Why administrators say the program is catching on when we return.
Orem shoppers may need to drive a little further to get the latest trends and styles. The Nordstrom at University Mall only has a few weeks before they close their registers for good. 11 News reporter Katrina Malentiva shows us what this means for the mall.
Oh, I'm very, very sad. Oh, really sad.
Well, I'm really, really sad about it. I love Nordstrom.
I am so sad. It's heartbreaking. I wish that they could keep it open.
The Orem Nordstrom is leaving town on the 24th, and customers don't seem too happy. Nordstrom says even though the Orem store doesn't lose money, it has never performed to the level we need it to.
After just 10 years in the Orem community, Nordstrom officials decided to move their store to a more upscale location, taking with them more than 150 jobs and thousands of customers.
The company promised to give employees jobs in Salt Lake if they decide to keep working for Nordstrom.
Yeah, once you work for Nordstrom, you don't want to really work anywhere else.
With Nordstrom and Mervyn's gone, Macy's is the last department store at the mall. Orem's Director of Economic Development says without Nordstrom, University Mall will need to find a new anchor store fast if they want to be successful. So far, mall owners don't have anything in the works. As for diehard fans,
I don't even know if I'm going to come to this mall anymore, honestly.
Looks like they'll need to find a new place to shop. In Orem, Katrina Malentiva, 11 News.
And for Nordstrom shoppers willing to take the 45-minute drive to Salt Lake, the new City Creek location will open its doors on March 22nd. If you woke up in American Fork with mucky water, you're not the only one. This map shows the area without water this morning after city crews turned it off to prepare for a new road project. Officials say when people turn their water back on, it may have air in it or it may appear discolored. They suggest people run cold water until the color is clear again.
New laws may give the governor more power over higher education. The legislature is advancing a proposal that would allow the governor and Senate to approve college and university presidents and fire the commissioner of education. Lawmakers hope the bill will promote more coordination between the K-12 system and higher education. Students in Utah County can now learn math, science, and social studies in Spanish, French, Portuguese, or Chinese. As 11 News reporter Karen Sullivan tells us, immersion programs are becoming very popular.
A new school year can be a little scary, but imagine if you couldn't understand what your teacher was saying because it was in another language.
6-year-olds in dual immersion schools are speaking in a different language from their parents.
Hopefully it's not a fad. I would predict that within the next 10 years, this is the way we'll be delivering instruction for all students.
At Canyon Crest, half of the day is spent with an English-speaking teacher and the other half is with a native Spanish-speaking teacher. During Spanish time, no English is allowed. In fact, one teacher says her students don't even know she speaks English. The principal says that students in this program develop sensitivity for other cultures and will have long-term academic benefits.
The amazing thing is that we are seeing that they are doing better on the state core tests, which are all taught in English at the end of the year. They're doing better on those tests than the regular population.
And the language sinks in quickly. When one second grader had a bad dream, he crawled into bed with his parents and started speaking in Spanish.
We know that these little children are just absorbing the language.
The program at Canyon Crest started with first graders 2 years ago, and every year the school hires another teacher. The school expects students will be fluent when they leave the 6th grade.
There's work to do, but they're talking very good. I love it.
The dual immersion program is open for any child that's up to the task, but deadlines for applications to next year's program are coming up. For a link to the information page, click on my story at our website, 11news.byu.edu.
When 11 News at Noon returns. Tantalizing talents. New classes will let you polish those talents.
And colossal cash. These bus drivers found a huge surprise in their paychecks. Hear how big their bonuses were when we return.
What can you expect from the first day of February? Let's take a look outside at the weather. Right now, there's a nice overcast that's keeping temperatures stable. Currently, it's 36 degrees with a light wind speed. We'll hit a higher of 43 around 3 p.m., which is right around the average temperature for today. Tonight, we can expect cooler temps and some wet weather. Rain and even snow flurries will roll in around 9 p.m. and continue through the night, but we shouldn't expect more than an inch of accumulation. Looking at the 5-day forecast for the northern part of the state, the end of the work week will be mostly cloudy with snow showers expected on Thursday and Friday. The sun will come out for the weekend, but that also gives us those below average on Saturday and Sunday.
One Utah County high school is breaking out the paintbrushes, guitars, and leotards. But as 11 News reporter Tommy Herman explains, this time it's not for the kids.
Dancing, sewing, painting. Some adults just don't have enough time to develop their talent and enjoy their hobbies.
I think maybe we get caught up a little bit in all the things we're doing and we neglect some of those talents that we either have or that we really desire.
The Spanish Fork Cultural Arts Workshop gives people a chance to change that. Whether someone is looking to pick up a new hobby, practice an old one, or get some professional training, the workshop gives them a time and space to work on themselves.
It's not just a pastime. I think it's something that you can really benefit yourself personally and professionally and educationally.
If we do that, we create a community of passionate people, energized and excited about the community and being a part here.
All classes will be held here in the Spanish Fork High School between February 3rd and March 17th, with a final showcase on the evening of the 17th here in the auditorium.
The Arts Council recruits the most talented and experienced people in the area to teach the classes. This year, they have professional dancers who have traveled the world and a famous local author.
A very, I think, a very elite group of teachers here.
The event offers 14 different classes to choose from. In Spanish Fork, Tommy Herman, 11 News.
You can register at the Spanish Fork Parks and Recreation office by February 4th, or check out the link on our website at 11news.byu.edu.
Okay, Sean, there's going to be some snow outside, but it sure does not feel like it's football season.
No, I'd want to snuggle up with some hot cocoa at a basketball game.
Well, you do have the Super Bowl coming up too, but today the focus is more on college. Next on sports, the future of BYU football takes center stage, with high schoolers signing on to follow in the footsteps of Cougars past and present. And a clash in California between Jimmers Kings and the Warriors went down to the buzzer. Sports is next. Stay tuned. Today's the biggest day of the off-season for college football, as thousands of high school athletes will sign a letter of intent to play for schools across the nation. Many of the high schoolers have committed to a college before today, but there are some that have waited till signing day itself to make the announcement. For BYU, today should be just a mere formality, with most, if not all, of their players having already committed. And the letters have all rolled in. All 18 Cougar commits have sent in their letters of intent, with the first official commit, defensive lineman Marquez Johnson, sending in his at around 7:30 this morning. Unless there's a surprise commit later on, the Cougar class of 2012 is complete. Some will hit the field next season, but many plan to serve LDS missions first. Now, the 2012 Cougar class is headlined by 2 4-star recruits, according to Scout.com. Quarterback Tanner Mangum and defensive Troy Hines, and they add to a long list of blue-chip recruits to come through BYU. The class of 2010 was perhaps the marquee year for BYU recruiting, with 5 blue chippers led by top QB prospect Jake Heaps and standout wide receiver Ross Oppo. 2009 wasn't too far behind, with 4 blue star recruits led by the beast linebacker Kyle Van Noy. The Cougars have averaged about 3 blue chip recruits a year over the past decade. Some have made significant contributions, while others haven't quite panned out. Hines has been rated the top high school prospect in the state of Utah by Scout.com, and Mangum's been named the top prospect in Idaho. BYU TV will have complete coverage of signing day throughout the day, with live coverage of the Cougar press conference at 1:30 this afternoon and an hour-long signing day special at 7 tonight. Both times are Mountain. Visit our website at www.elevennews.byu.edu for more information on how you can tune in. Football may be the focus today, but basketball took center stage last night, including an in-state showdown between the Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors. Jimmer had a quiet night with only 5 points, including this 3 in the first. He shot 2 of 5 and added 2 assists in 19 minutes. But overall, it was a night of 3-pointers and up-tempo basketball. Kings guard Tyreek Evans led all scorers with 22. But ultimately, the Warriors finally put some space between them and the Kings, grabbing an 11-point lead on this 3 with less than 4 to play. But don't count the Kings out. They went on a 14-5 run, giving Evans this chance for a tie at half court. But it's off, and the Warriors hold on for the 93-90 win. But the play of the night belongs to Paul George of the Pacers, taking this breakaway off the steal to the house and finishing above the rim. He chose style over power, throwing down a reverse double pump jam with less than a second left in the third. It's got to take some serious hang time to be able to pull off a dunk like that. And the Pacers would go on to win, and George would go on to star in the highlight reels for the night.
Wow, that was awesome.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't know that it compares to Griffin's dunk a couple of nights ago, but still a pretty fun one to watch. Yeah.
Still to come on 11 News at noon. Best boss. Why are 1,800 bus drivers saying they have the most generous boss in the land? We'll explain when we return.
A few Australian bus drivers are hailing their boss as the best in the country. 1,800 employees found bonuses of up to $30,000 each in their paychecks. Their boss sold his bus business and gave some of the profits to the employees. Drivers say that's not the only reason they'll miss this boss man, because he also treated all of them like family. And the boss's wife, she's just excited they get to take a vacation to America.
Don't skip out on jury duty in one Indiana town. The judge in Crown Point doesn't hand out scarlet letters if you missed your assignment. He hands out signs. This 22-year-old is advertising his error to the world. Court officials didn't release the man's name, and he didn't talk to reporters during his hour outside. He's scheduled to picket again next week. A secretary says this is the second time the judge has done this to someone who skipped jury duty. I wouldn't want to skip jury duty.
I'm not skipping out anytime soon, that's for sure.
That will definitely teach someone not to miss.
And those bus drivers,
oh
my
They're
goodness,
so
that is
lucky.
so cool.
I want that boss.
Yeah.
Maybe he's coming this way, so maybe we'll get him. That's 11 News at noon for Wednesday, February 1st.
You can join us anytime on our website, 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for watching. Have a great afternoon.